I'd rather be failing and struggling trying to create the life that I actually want than be failing and struggling living a life that makes me want to jump off a bridge. I woke up this morning feeling passionate about this topic because it's really, really important for you to live life for yourself. Okay, for you to stop existing and start living a life that makes sense to you. And I think a lot of us, whether we like it or not, we're just existing because the entire playbook that we are using is somebody else's. Check out most people who followed a script. They're also miserable. I'd rather be failing and struggling trying to create the life that I actually want than be failing and struggling living a life that makes me want to jump off a bridge. Living a life that makes me extremely miserable. I'll use myself as an example. Very good in school, a lot of awards. My 2 degrees are both first class degrees. So naturally, the expectation was that everything that I did was going to go in that line. So I was going to be a doctor at first. Everybody thought I was going to go to medical school. And then I changed my mind last minute. And then I had to go and study law. And then while studying law, I decided I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. And I wanted to be an artist and be a creative, something I've always loved, something I've always done. And it looked like a joke, but I just refused to carry on with the legal career. I completed my law degree, got my law degree, but I refused to carry on with the legal career. In doing that, I have had to deal with the consequences of my action because I think that's what we're also afraid of. We all feel like if we don't live life a certain way, there will be consequences. Yes, there will be consequences, but you have to live with the consequences of your actions. My consequences were that I struggled for a long time. Think of all the types of jobs you can imagine. I've had them. But I'll tell you something. I never, ever regretted. The only thing I ever had kind of any sadness about was I wish that I had more expansive career options. Because of where I come from, I had only 3 options. I was either a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. And, that sucked because I didn't know I had other options. I could have been a graphic designer. I could have been an architect. I could have been anything else. I know that a lot of the consequences of my actions that I've experienced in someone else's book, I guess when I was in the depths of my consequences, someone might look at me and go like, it just doesn't make any sense that this is happening to Pearl or that like Pearl is living a life like this. But the reality is I was content where I was because I had a dream and I still have a dream and a goal that I'm heading towards. And I knew that the path to where I was going, because it was an unbeaten path, of course, it's not easy. Of course, it's not cleared. When people have walked a path over and over again, they remove all the sticks, all the things blocking the path. So anybody that comes after them, it's easier. But when you're the person making the path for the first time, it's going to be much harder because you have to break down these trees that have fallen. Like you have to break down all these things, all this debris on the floor. You have to do the breaking and the clearing. You are clearing the path because you're the first person walking that path. And that's how I saw myself. Ask yourself, what playbook am I living by? A lot of us, the things we want, honestly, if you sit down and examine it, you realize that it's not what you want. It's just not what you want. It's what you've been conditioned to want. I think that the most important thing is to let go of the idea that life has to look a certain way. Someone might look at you and judge you and think that your life makes no sense, but then it makes no sense because it's not their life. Does your life make sense to you? Does your way of living make sense to you? There are people who live life with no plans, with 0 plans. They go with the flow every moment. If you put that person against somebody whose entire way of being is about planning every moment, that person might mistakenly judge the other person as somebody with no purpose. But what if their purpose is to exist with the flow of life? And then someone who lives like that, if they're not aware, might look at somebody who has all these steps and all these plans and think, this person is too rigid. No, you do not know where they come from. You don't know why everything is planned out. I don't think anybody is particularly wrong or right about their approach to life. It's just that whatever approach you follow, there are consequences. Are you ready for your consequences? And it's not even a bad thing. If you live a certain way, you will pay the price. And paying the price is the baseline of our lives. It's fine. I'm paying the price of my life. I will pay the price. I'll keep paying the price. Whatever choices I make. So do not be afraid to go out of the box or out of whatever has been set for you because you're worried about the price you will pay. Because whether you like it or not, right now you are paying a price. You will pay the price for staying where you've been told to stay. Me, I think the way I'm headed is freedom for me. What is freedom for me? Freedom for me is being able to do whatever the fuck I want with my life, with my body, with where I live, with who is around me, where I go, what I eat. It's freedom. I don't want anybody telling me how to be. I don't want anybody informing me what to do with my sexuality or what to do with my sensuality, what to do with my brain, what to do with my intelligence, what to do with my gifts. I don't want anybody telling me nothing about me. I want to be in charge of my life completely and utterly. Okay? So I make decisions that might look sometimes a bit weird to some people. It might not look sensible in the moment, but the point is, I'm working towards a reality where Pearl is in charge of Pearl's life. Where when I look back, I can say, I did that. That was my choice. And I'm not always right, but that's okay. I learn when I'm wrong. How do you want to live? What is your baseline? What is your limit? You don't have to, pursue things because that's what everybody's doing. Because some of us right now, the reason why you're under a lot of stress is that you're looking at the intensity of other people's lives and you're comparing yours to theirs. It's okay if you just want to be a slow morning, slow day person, sit out in the park. What is the consequence? You probably will earn less than other people. But then your life will be okay if you're living within your means of earning. Life falls apart when you're living a certain way and then you're expecting the results of somebody else living a certain way and then you're comparing, you will never be happy. So what is enough for you? There are people who make, 6 figures a month. There are people who make millions of dollars and they are unhappy. They will keep pursuing because nothing is ever enough. So what is enough for you? And there are people who make very little and they're content. What they have is what they have and they're fine with what they have. It's all about you. I don't think this is not a prescription. I have dreams of the kind of exact life I want, okay? But that's my life. My goal, especially with my platform, is not to impose anything on you, but I just want to make sure and I want to hope that what I offer here is that whatever you decide or whatever life you have is yours. And this also boils down to our bodies. What does your body mean to you? When it comes to your body, there is no supposed to. What do you enjoy? What makes you feel good? Why are you doing it? Is this expression? Is this fun? Is this community? Is this pleasure for you? Or do you think this is how A, B, C, and D does this? This is how I must do it? No. What is your limit? What is your baseline? What is your dream? Live for yourself. And some of us, I know, we come from places where the people whose dreams you're living out, you love them, of course. Maybe you don't want to disappoint them. But darling, you're disappointing yourself. If you ever have to pick between disappointing yourself and disappointing other people, disappoint other people, they will live. Because the truth is, when they go home, you are stuck with yourself. And you will feel stuck. And that's the worst part. You will always be with yourself. Unlike those people, okay, when they go home, they just go home with their ideas of how they want you to be. You feel stuck in your body, in your life. You feel like you can't escape. You look around and it feels stuffy. They're not living your life. So think about your life. What motivates you? What makes you want to wake up in the morning? What kind of mornings do you want to have? What work do you need to put in now to achieve the kind of days you want to have? Once you decide that, you will start living, not just existing, living a life that means everything to you. For me, I hate being put in a box. I want to be on a podium speaking on something important on Monday, and on Tuesday, I want to be completely butt naked somewhere doing what I like. On Wednesday, I want to be somewhere writing. On Thursday, I want to be on stage doing a play or improv. That's the life I like. And I know that this life I like is non-traditional. I know that I'm not a traditional person. So I don't chase traditional things because it will be the end of me. Okay, I don't do traditional relationships. I don't do gender roles. It makes me sick. I hate shit like that. Like, I have decided how I want to live. So any messaging that clashes with the life I've decided that I want for myself is not welcome. So really pay attention to the things you listen to. Who are you listening to on the internet? What are they saying? Okay, because I see a lot of things online, people kind of, in my opinion, actually, it's not just my opinion, this is just fucking reality. I see a lot of messaging, especially directed at young women, and it comes in this big sister packaging, but it's just misogyny. Honestly, it's patriarchal, misogynistic ideologies wrapped in a bow and in pink boxes, and it's disgusting. It's still indirectly putting women in a box, forcing us into palatable, small, it's just icky. And I don't want that. I don't want that for any young woman. I want you to be whatever you want to be, whatever that looks like for you. Honestly, if you want to be a traditional person, go ahead. Just be aware of what that means. That's all. Just be aware. Okay? The day you accept that in your body exists everything, the feminine, the masculine, the in-between, everything possible, that's the day you set yourself free. Stop trying to be something. Stop trying to act something and just be. How does your brain work? How does your mind work? Lean into that. Have the courage to live a life that means something to you. If you're stuck on things like self-love, self-confidence, healing from trauma, or you're like, oh, I know that happened to me, but I don't know what to do next. Oh, I need more information on how to learn to love myself, how to learn to reparent myself. I don't know what to do with the anger. I don't know how to grieve. Ways of getting back to myself. How do I learn confidence that will last? How do I? I have made practical workbooks, real workbooks. I've put it all in there, very detailed, for you to be able to work at your own pace, to work through things. Get them at theneuroCosmic.com. Bye-bye.